Neil's shoe store.
How many years have you been over here?
1950.
That's right.
Since 1950. That's 17 years. It's the first time anything like this has happened.
You're going to stay here?
I guess so. Too old to move now. Put it that way.
We're going to do what we can to bring in all the federal assistance in helping you rebuild. We think that every property owner, business or residential, has a right to some federal relief from this terrible problem.
I need it. I need relief badly because all my money is in stock, and the stock is gone. And that's my life's earning.
How much do you think it'll take to get you back in business?
I don't know. Close to about over $50,000. I lost more than that, but we can't. There's nothing we can pinpoint how much now.
Had you had any difficulty along?
No difficulty at all. We know it's one thing. It's vandalism. We know it's bad boys. We know they see one doing it, and the other one doesn't. And that's all it is.
Congressman, there's always a lot of talk after something like this, no matter where the city is, about why. He says there hadn't been any trouble here before, so why all of a sudden?
Well, because the bad boys and the vandals that he's referring to are the have-nots in our society that probably couldn't even afford to buy a pair of shoes. Although I won't say that everybody. We saw people driving up in cars helping themselves. It began to spread.
I saw a white man with a pair of shoes he stole. Goes over in a big Cadillac car, gets in and drives away. So it's not only one point. It started with one area and it blossomed.
I'm glad Mr. Pearson made the point. The white vandals and hoodlums came in and worked side by side with the Negro element of the same type. There was no difference, and this is why I've maintained that this is not a race riot in the conventional sense. This is a riot of have-nots and of vandals and of the element that would take advantage of that.
Just plain criminal types. Okay, thanks an awful lot.
Kick ass, you know, and if I get my ass beat, don't mean shit, because, hey, I'm coming back, you know. That's the kind of person I am, you know. I consider myself a tough guy. That's what I consider myself. I'm devious, you know. My hands like mechanical, you know. I get under people's trucks, I hotwire them, I take everything, you know. That's what I'm about, you know. I'm about looking for trouble. Serious, right? Tell them it is.
Somebody asked me to steal something. I say good, you know.
I'm going into security school to learn all about burglar alarms and things like that. That way I know when I come out on the streets, I can disconnect alarms and take what I want. And in my future, I think I'll be a professional thief. If you say if I commit a crime, how do I feel? I feel all right, you know. I'm happy, I'm gonna do it again, you know. I would take everything you have. If you give me the chance.
You're talking about stealing possessions or hurting people?
Stealing possessions and hurting you, if possible. Right. That's the way to do it. I was like, I never killed anybody, you know. Hey, but I did slice a couple, you know, had sliced somebody, you know, a couple of times. Yeah, it's pretty solid done.
You think you could ever kill anyone?
Yes, I think I can.
Make Negro Americans first class in the final sense of the word. And until we get to that problem, we've gone into this phase of those who are hopeless, who have given up, who have rejected everything that any society would be expected to hold dear to them, and have turned in a belief that their plight can't get any worse than by demonstrating their rage in this fashion.
Okay, you better hustle down.
You want to unlock the glove compartment? Unlock the glove compartment.
Glove compartment.
Your glove lock unlocked? Glove compartment? No, it's not locked.
Congressman, you described your neighborhood here last night as being a little like Vietnam under siege.
Well, that's right, because unfortunately, as these incidents in number go down, the sharpness of the conflict and the confrontation between the law enforcement agencies increases. So that while it was true, as General Throckmorton told me at midnight last night, that 3/4 of the city was more quiet than it had ever been before, the part that was in turmoil was in serious danger. It's very difficult to get at the snipers in between hundreds of thousands of residents.
Congressman, there has been a great deal of talk, especially the last day or two, about the whole sequence of events involving the use of these federal airborne troops and whether or not they were called in early enough to begin with, and then once they were called in, whether they were deployed properly. Governor Romney today defended his position, saying there was no vacillation on his part whatsoever. Well, what do you feel about the role politics has played in the whole affair?
Well, to be perfectly honest with you, you can't keep a certain amount of politics out of anything. We've tried to hold to the axiom that politics only goes to the riot's edge. We've been fairly successful in this instance. One of the popular speculations is when the troops should have been sent in, who should have been deployed where, and that'll be going on for years. I think overall, though, we must say that the various law enforcement operations worked very closely in hand once they got organized, that there's been great restraint shown up till now, except in some of the police stations, and I'm hoping that we can root that out so that we don't get into any real sharp black and white confrontations.
Kind of way out in left field, but what do you think all of this does to chances for being the presidential nominee against Mr. Johnson?
What chances? I don't know if it does anything to them.
Do you think Mr. Johnson responded quickly enough in hindsight?
There's no question that Assistant Secretary Cyrus Vance and General Throckmorton, who communicated immediately with the governor and the mayor. I was with them on their initial inspection tour on Sunday afternoon. They moved fast, and they moved in a very excellent manner. It was highly coordinated at all times, and I think that outside of the speculative aspects of this, who can tell what would have been differently? We know these snipers are rough, and whether they would have been blasted out if we'd have moved in earlier with massive force, no one knows, except that we know that there would have been a greater loss of life. The whole theory that this was premised on was that lives were more important than property, and I think that distinguishes the way this riot was handled from any other riot in the last 3 years in an American city. Our other Michigan congressmen pressed for urgent legislation on that subject. Now, in addition to this, I think that we will open up emergency small business administration offices in the City Hall so that we can begin some kind of systematic record keeping of the havoc.
A number of these stores along Grand River here, of course, are owned by white businessmen and white organizations. What kind of dialogue have you had with them? What do they say to you? Are they going to stay in the neighborhood, or is this going to chase some of them out?
I think, unfortunately, some of them are going to be forced to close. They've been hit, they've been destroyed, their life's property and savings have been removed in this terrible way. And that, of course, is not only a personal loss to them, but it's a terrible loss to the community which enjoyed their services. So all I can say that what we've got to do from here is to make sure that the business people in the community have every sort of preferential treatment that we can require, that we can secure to help and encourage that they stay in the center cities. May I add that the Negro problem is now becoming a problem of the cities of America, because every large city has a burgeoning Negro population. Here, it's somewhere between 34 and 42%, depending on whose statistics you want to use. But we've got to remember that the problem of the Negro is the problem of the cities in America.
Can we talk to some of you?
Sure, there's my old friend here.
Hold it for now.